Just dangerous beats.
What is going on, everybody? Back with another podcast, Raymond J TV, Raymond J Podcast. All right, so today I'm with a new guest, with JP
That's me.
Wiki.
That's me. That is me.
All right, so I've never done a video with JP here, but this is J Pizzle. So why don't you introduce yourself to the people? You know.
What's up? Like he said, I'm JP. You can call me JPZ, whatever easy for you. The name's Javi Ray Perez. This my boy right here since like kindergarten, first grade, whatever it was. But yeah, best friend for life, god brother, brothers for life.
Everything.
You know how it is.
You already know. All day. Alrighty, so yeah, man. I mean, people been asking, bro. So I invited you onto the podcast today, cause people been asking and people just want to know, man. Now I've been trying to hold it off for as long as I can, but I think it's time we give them that straight answer. But yeah, the main question is, when's the music coming?
It's on its way, bro. It's on its way, definitely. It's a nonstop thing. It's an all the time thing, and yeah, I'm about halfway done with this little project that I've been working on the last couple of years. I know, I take my time with my stuff, and I know you're working too. So we're on the way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I got I got a lot of people over in the hub that ask me about it and whatnot. I mean, but yeah, I mean, we're doing what we can with the time that we have. Just always expanding. Like this podcast thing was something I've always been interested in starting. So, it took that investment to go ahead and start this. But we're always going to be focusing on, the music as well. And so, music is coming. Just you gotta be patient. But that's kind of why we stopped making like so many posts where we would be talking about like music coming out and shit. Cause it's like we really don't know when it's gonna happen. But
It'll happen though.
yeah, like once it happens, like all we can say for sure is like once it does happen, like once we drop like the first big thing, then from that moment on it's gonna be
consistent.
Yeah. So
we're working on to get to that right number, that magic number to start releasing consistently.
Right, because we don't want to just like jump into stuff like as if you've heard my original mixtape that I made like 4 years ago. I mean, it's decent, but I think
it's fire.
I think
it's fire.
It's dope, and I mean, and you can check it out on my music channel, which is linked below. It's dope, and like, but I mean, you can really hear how I probably could have spent a little more time on the lyrics, and a lot of that comes to do with the fact that I was such in a rush. After I wrote my first song, then from there it was like, oh, I just wanted to start putting shit out. So then I started really rushing through like the last 2 or 3 songs on that mixtape. I really rushed through it and just kind of wanted to get it done. And I think another problem was the fact that I put a release date before I was even done. And like part of the reason I did that was because I thought to myself, I was like, if I put out a release date, then I have to get it done by that day. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So therefore, as that date came closer, I started rushing it. And
didn't you like back up the date too? Like
yeah, because I think I was supposed to do it like in the beginning of like June, and then I ended up changing it to like June 29th or some shit like that. And then, but yeah, and I was super excited, and it was, I mean, I went all out. I even ordered like all the CD cases. I made like a front cover and a back cover for I went completely all out on this mixtape. And, anyways, so yeah, I mean, we got stuff coming. It's just, we don't want it to be rushed. We don't want it to feel rushed. We want to make sure it's got, because not just the lyrics and everything has to be good, but like we want to make sure that we've got the right sound, that everything is set.
We're perfectionists.
So that's the biggest thing. Once we figure,
it takes time.
Once we really find like our right like rhythm and flows, like then it's just gonna go from there, and so
it'll happen though. Wait on it. It's coming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
HP, that's the team.
So yeah, so I mean, and this is JP's first time with me and everything, and like I said, I'm still getting new to this whole podcast thing too. So I mean, I think it'd be pretty dope if me and JP here, you know, we kind of talked about, you know, how we even got to this point, you know, like how we got to the point in our lives now where like music is like our main dream, you know. So
It all started with dancing, honestly.
yeah, and like I was gonna, you know, like when we were what 12, 13, sixth grade, really, and so, well, for those who don't know, JP, he's a year younger than I am, so throughout school he was always a year below me, but we still made it work to where we were always together. Really, the only problems that we had was like when he was in fifth and I was in sixth grade. We were in different schools at that time, so it was harder to like see each other in school. But after school, we would go hang out. Same thing from like the whole eighth grade, ninth grade deal. But you know, yeah. But you know, JP's actually the one that got me into dancing, because JP just already was like into dancing as a little kid,
Right.
and so you know he could dance, and so then I was like, that's dope. And then 2009 came and just you're a jerk, I know. You know what I'm saying? You're a jerk came out, and that was like the first, at least for us, that was like the first big song that came out that was like you know, a dance. You know, like there was a dance that went to the song, and that was during the time when jerking itself was like a popular dance. So we picked up off of the "You're a Jerk" by the New Boys, and we learned that, and
Pin drop. We learned the pin drop.
we learned the pin
Thought
drop.
That was
We
the
were
coolest move ever.
everything. Like that was our thing, was jerking and the Dougie. You know, and then not long after the Cat Daddy came out, so then we would incorporate that, and so yeah. I mean, we used to make dancing videos all the time.
Had a dance crew. That's where we got our rhythm from. Just letting our bodies loose and dancing, finding the right music to dance to. And I mean, really, music's just been a big part of my whole life. I've always loved to sing. I've always sing with my sisters, like growing up and stuff, watching Disney Channel or Usher or just all that type of stuff too, you know. So music's just always been just a key part of my life, you know.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I kind of feel the same way here. You know, I've always, like I said, as a kid also, yeah, I would always like to just sing. And I was always shy, like as a
Same.
kid. I never wanted to like sing in front of people, you know. But I feel like throughout junior high and high school, I really overcame that, and you know, it took JP a little bit longer than I did to come out, but you know.
But I came to realize that we all have a voice, and if you enjoy doing something, then don't let nobody stop you from doing it. So
Yeah, exactly. Like, cause like when did we make FTD? You guys don't know what FTD is, and you probably never will. But
it was like 2013
but
12. It was 13.
yeah, it was 13. So okay, so when I first copped my first little studio set, and it was literally just the mic stand, the mic, and then like a free software that I downloaded onto my laptop. My dad bought me a laptop to help me start it off and everything. Shout out to my pops. He's always supported us and always wanted us to do great things. So I mean, but you know, I first got into it because every time I would hear new songs, and one of the first things I like to do was get on the tube and look up like cover videos and like listen to other people singing these popular songs. So like that was something I always wanted to do, was like make covers, and like I would always see them have the studio set up. So then I was like, you know, I want something like that. So when I finally like got my first job and saved up the money, got on eBay, found a small little kit for like $120. It was the mic, the stand, the shock mount, the pop filter, like everything. It's just like your basic kit, and but it was a USB mic, not an XLR mic, and so yeah, I just started going from there. Just started putting it on the computer and figuring out how to record and how to adjust the levels, and then as time went on, I eventually learned like what EQ was, compression, and all of that, reverb, but that was my first thing. Like that's why I did it, because I wanted to make covers, and just one day JP was like, "What if we just made our own songs?" And so I was just like, you know, I mean, I never really thought of making my own music. Just wanted to make covers, and so.
And then me and Kevin have always just rapped. Like every time we'd hang out, Kevin would just bust out, "Hey, let's bust a flow, eh? Let's bust a flow."
Yeah. Shout out Kev. Kev is another one of our good friends that grew up rapping with us throughout high school and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, he's
Boo too. Me me and Boo were in junior high. We'd pass notes to each other. Like in class, we'd write disses to each other, and then in between classes, we'd hand each other the disses, and then we'd read what we wrote to each other and just go off of that. And just do that all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just diss each other right back and forth, and so that's why it came to me. Because and then I'd always just like sing along with like Drake or Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, like rap along with them, and I don't know, the idea just came to me like, why don't we just make our own music?
Right.
You know?
But yeah, and so yeah, it was just something that was always like it was always there, but we never like really ever thought like let's do it until Javi took that first step, and FTD was the first track, wasn't it?
FTD,
Like ever, like
fresh to death.
yeah. So for those, like I said, nobody knows what FTD is. So FTD stands for Fresh to Death, and this was our very first track that we ever made, written by us. And so it was the Rack City beat, the Rack City by Tyga, that beat, and then it was JP, myself, and Kevin on the track. And so we were all in Javi's room, and when in a matter of like it was like maybe 1-2 hours,
Right. That's what
we wrote this whole track, and then just laid it down, and then yeah. And I mean, but we never like released that kind of stuff because it was like we weren't sure,
Right.
like with among ourselves, we were all hyped in the room. Kevin called somebody.
He was so late. He called a female. This is some random.
Yeah,
female.
it was like, yo, listen to this.
Put it right beside the speaker.
Yeah, and so, but like, so yeah, among ourselves, we were super hyped and like proud. But then we were like, I don't know, is this worth like putting out there? And so we just never did. But
it's good to look back on.
Yeah, like
really.
we used it. It was, if anything, it was really just a stepping stone for us to kind of get that experience on just that feeling of recording and making a song. And so, but it was dope. It was just something that we would listen to just like with friends. We would put it on the aux and just kind of show people here and there. But it was never something we went like exclusive with. And I don't know, depending on how things go, I think I know for sure eventually one day we're going to put it out there.
I think so.
The original recording too. And put it out there.
Just to see how much improvement we've made.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And then so yeah, and then from there that's when JP really started getting into it, and that's when you started making like Life Story and all of that. Tell us a little bit about that,
Yeah. Life Stories, like I've always had the idea to make a project, but I just never had the material to do it. And Life Story is a song that I had on this project before this project I'm working on now, and I had like 5 songs, and I think we recorded like Life Story, Fresh to Death, and then Who Do You Love?
Who Do You Love?
I be on that real shit freestyle.
Yeah, and then you had the El Chapo freestyle.
Yeah, I had some lined up, but like I said, we just didn't put it anywhere because it was just we weren't sure.
Yeah, and like another thing too, though, like we also weren't ready in like our editing aspect. Like if you listen to those tracks like right now, you would hear the imperfections on. We've come a long way as far as really learning how to make the proper sound come into the mic. And like I said, I mean, none of us knew anything. We were learning on the spot, and so. But
it's always been something fun that we enjoy doing. So that's why we kept on doing it and are still doing it and trying to get better and better every day.
For sure. But yeah, that was a big thing though. JP came out with like 5-6 tracks, that he had wrote to. Now, this was before we started writing to separate beats, though, because at first we would use beats of, like, popular songs, and then we would just remix them, basically, freestyle to the beats. And so
it's crazy.
That was just how we started. And then from there, we started, like, listening to actual, like, just free beats and, kind of getting that feel. And so, yeah, and then, because I didn't write my first original track. Because, like, JP did this, like, this was, like, your freshman year?
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah, and so, like, and that was, like, 5-6 tracks that he, like, wrote right there. Lyric-wise, they were dope, you know what I mean? It was just, and the fact that we couldn't really, like, we didn't really know how to lay it down properly. But other than that, like if we were to lay that down today with the knowledge we have now, I think those would be some fire tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I didn't write my first track until after my
High
senior
school,
year.
yeah.
Oh no, it was during my senior year. Was it during or
Nah,
after?
was it the one you? Yeah, it was my senior year, bro.
Yeah, because I remember I went to your house as soon as I
Yeah.
was done recording it. Yeah,
I just
so-
got done playing basketball.
yeah, that's right. My very first track I ever recorded was, my song, "The Way That I Do."
Loving you
The way that I do. Yeah, that's and so and like that was dope because like it just came to me one night. Like I was listening to this beat. It was produced by Dizzla D Beats, if I remember correctly. And so I'm listening to this beat, and then just this melody just hits my head, like the, you know what I'm saying? And like, so I like right off of that, and I started like, wait, once I found like the melody I wanted to roll with, then I just started like throwing in words on like what I would want to say. And so it all just came to me right there. And so all night, like all in one night, I stayed up and just started writing it, getting it down. Then the next day, then I started working on it, like actually recording it, and got it done. And so JP, he was at home, like right after a basketball game. He was tired as shit.
It was probably 11 or midnight.
Yeah, it was late. And I just called him and I'm like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm just chilling. Just got home." And I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come over. I want to show you something." So I came over with my laptop, connected the speaker, boom, played it. Like I was just super excited. Like this was the first time I ever wrote a song myself. And so like I said, this wasn't until after my senior year. This was after I graduated that then I made my first track. And so yeah, it definitely took me a while to get into the writing game.
And I was happy for you, bro. I was really happy for you because I knew I could see the excitement too.
Yeah.
Your first song, I was lit too. I was just as lit.
and it was dope. And that track's still available on my Facebook. I know on my Facebook, like it's still on there. I don't know why I've never posted it to my YouTube, but I probably will. I actually kind of think I want to re-record it and do like a remaster per se. That's kind of what I want to do with a lot of my songs, like remaster them with like the knowledge I know now, and like make them sound a little better.
More clear.
Yeah, and then just go from there. But that track, like, it wasn't bad. Like, it sounded dope. It was pretty clean, and like I got a lot of views, got a lot of good comments on it. So I mean, and that's whenever I really, really started to like think like we could do this. You know what I mean? And it's just gone from there. And then I made some choices and had to leave for a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We had a little difficulty with the camera, but we're back. So what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about
I think it was your song, right?
yeah, just my first song. So anyways, yeah, I mean that's what kind of really got me into wanting to start writing, and that's what made me think, yeah, we could do this. And so yeah, from there, like, cause I can tell you right now, like JP has like a total of like 20 songs that are probably that are either written, started, or have a course or finished.
Yeah.
But like I said, and I tell people this all the time when they ask me, and I'm like, I can tell you right now, we do have a lot in the works. When it's gonna get done, it'll get done when it gets done. But like I said, the moment that you see something that we drop something like something big, like not just like a small cover, like kind of what I've been doing, nothing like that. Like I'm talking when we actually release like a full track with a video and everything. The moment you see that, that's when it's setting off. That's when it's setting off.
That's when you know we coming.
That's when you know we coming. And we're trying to go. We ultimately we want to go fully ourselves. We don't want to. Not that we don't want to get signed by somebody. It's more that we want to see that we can do it on our own. We want to build our own label, build our own name, and go off of that and do our own thing. Now, we do understand that the industry is difficult. So, I mean, if anything, I could see us maybe like signing with somebody, but in a sense of, like some 50-50 stuff. You know what I mean? Like we do our part and they do their part, and that's it. But because you see, when you really look into it, like once you sign to a label, like fully to them, they own you. And they control how they want you to sound, how they want you to look, everything like that. Which sometimes is not always a bad thing, but for us, we'd rather just we'd like to know that what we're doing is our own choices and we're doing what we want to do
Right.
without having somebody that's like, I feel like you could do something
Mhm.
different, you know. So that's a big part of it for sure. And so Higher Power Records, that's the name we've chosen, name we've gone with.
Shout out to Hondo, Boo's big brother. He's the one that's where I first heard Higher Power. He's the one that introduced that name to me, and it just stuck out to all of us. One day we were thinking about it, like what are we called? Because we always
Yeah.
rap together, we always hang together and just hang out, you know.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Like, cause the first name that we went with, or that I went with when I first started, was Royalty Records. That's what I went with. Double R Royalty Records, and so that's just what I went. And the reason I did that was because it was after Chris Brown came out with his album Royalty, and
We had a song named Royalty. too.
yeah, we were working on a track named Royalty, and like so Royalty was just something that like, cause like Chris Brown, he's my biggest inspiration, you know, and for both of us, he's a big inspiration. But for me, he's my number one. Javi's always been more of a Drake guy, you know, but we both love both of them. They're our top two.
Yeah,
Always will be. You know, you can say what you want about both of them, but they're who we looked up to when we first started.
Our
and-
whole lives we've been waiting for that No Guidance track. Like when it
yeah,
released,
when No Guidance came out,
this
it
is
was
the time, like we've been waiting for
like,
this our whole life.
been.
Bro.
And so like that was perfect. And so like I remember when they were beefing and we were like, why
Whose
they
side we gonna
beefing? Like we didn't know who.
choose?
Yeah, we were like, damn, and it was wild. But yeah, they're definitely our biggest inspirations. And but yeah, that's where I got that whole royalty thing from. Was you know that album I messed with it heavy, and then we were writing a song called Royalty. And then so I was like Royalty Records. There it is.
And we some kings, bro.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Javi Ray.
We would say that. We would be like, you know, we the kings of like Royalty Records, and it was dope. But then once we heard the Higher Power, it was like,
That's it.
I like that. That's it right there. And so
HP, that's the team.
HP, that's the team. HP laptop is what I got and everything. Get us a sponsorship. Nah, but yeah, and so it's been a wild journey that we've on how we really came in everything. You know, just we started off just dancing for fun. We had a crew and everything, and like, you know, we even got into a battle once, like a full crew battle, but it never happened. But like, that would have been dope. Like
It happened. They were scared, and they didn't have enough people. Like we joined crew with this bigger crew,
true.
and we just schooled them. We were having fun, and they didn't even dance. There was like 4 guys against 20 guys.
Yeah,
It
for
was-
real.
They didn't have nothing on us. All
Yeah.
of us. All Stars 806.
All Stars in 806. Yeah, 'cause we were the All Stars. There was 4 of us, and then the 806 crew had like 6.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say. I said like 20. But
But like there was like 10 of us total, and then on their crew, I don't even know what they called themselves,
Me either.
but they were like,
Irrelevant.
yeah, and there was only like 4 or 5 of them. And see, the thing was they called out 806 crew. They wanted to battle 806 crew,
This is all in Hereford.
and
Hereford,
yeah, this was
Texas.
happening in Hereford, Texas. And so like this crew calls out 806 crew, but then they're all talk because they start telling 806 crew how they have like 10 plus members, and how, you know, they go big, they go
Mhm.
big or go home. So that's why 806 was like, damn, there's only like 5 or 6 of us. So that's when they hit up the 806, the All Stars, you know, because we had a small name known for us, you know, in the Dimmitt
And we
area.
had ties. Yeah, we had ties with
We
them.
had ties, so like they knew about us. So then they hit up the All Stars, you know, when they were like, "Hey, we got called out by this crew. We're gonna need a little help." So then who was it that they hit up? Was it Isaiah?
It was that girl that Isaiah was talking to at the time. Can't remember her name. Jasmine. Or
Oh
something?
yeah. So okay, so yeah, one of our crew members, girl he was talking to, was the one that got asked by 806. So she told him. So then he hit us up, and we were like, "Let's do it." And so we link up. We show up that night, and then that crew shows up with like 4 people. And so then it was like, yeah. So then, you know, the hip hop music comes on, and so we start going on the dance floor doing our thing, and then they ended up leaving, didn't they? Yeah, that other crew ended up just leaving.
And then we just danced with the 806, having fun all
Yeah.
night. It was a fun time.
But I was showing up expecting like a big battle, man.
Right.
I remember we were all hyped. We were
Right.
like, but 806 was a dope crew though. They were
Mhm.
really into that.
They were b-boys type of dancing, and we were just like whatever we knew.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what you.
Freestyling.
Yeah, just freestyle. I guess is what you would call our style, just whatever. And so, but it was
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, we went through all of that, and then you know, eventually caught me. And it's crazy when I think about how like I got that mic and studio set because I wanted to record covers, you know, and like I didn't even get it with that mindset of like want to do my own thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then here we are. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, and but I think it'd really be dope if like if we eventually let like release that FTD, that Who Do You Love, that El Chapo.
Yeah, I think they gotta hear us first though. What we're really coming with.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
for sure, for sure. But once all that goes through, like eventually y'all will hear where we started from. You
Yeah.
know, it'll be in our documentary once we make it big.
I just want to release music, bro. I can't wait till I finish everything that I'm working on, and I will. I have my mindset that I'm going to finish. You know, because
Yeah, for sure.
like I said, I just want my music heard. I don't care if it's like, of course, I want it liked, but I do it for me. You know, it's what I love to do, so it's what I'm gonna do, and I can't wait to let y'all hear it.
Yeah, and it's crazy too. Like seeing like me, like me, I just want to be an entertainer. You know what I mean? Like I'm in that same mindset where it's like, you know, I just like to like I like the thought of like coming like on here like on a podcast and like
Mhm.
making people laugh when they're listening to it, or like making the YouTube videos making people laugh. You know, or,
Right.
like I even want like a big thing I want to do is get into acting. You know, like that's one of the biggest things that I want to do is like, you know, be on a screen where like people are like, you know, when they see you and they're like the way that they look at like other actors. You know what I mean? Like things like that, and like so I like, you know, I mean I got a lot of different things I want to do. Like it's wild. Like, you know, I want to do the music. You know, I want to get into this. I want to start making short films. You know, things like that. And like,
Mhm.
I just like the thought of like being able to travel around, see things, and like, like have those people that support me because they like my entertainment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, and I, like I say, man, all the time, like we're gonna get there. You know, it's just we just gotta keep on pushing. You know, and to anybody else out there listening, you know, like best thing I could tell you is you gotta invest in yourself. You know, it's like I tell this guy all the time, like, I mean, you look at everything we got and it wasn't cheap, you know what I mean? But you can't look at it like that. You know, you gotta think of it like, let me buy this piece. You know, you gotta piece it all together. You know what I mean? I think the biggest thing is people will see prices and think, yeah, I can't afford to do that. So they never do. But there's different ways around it, and you know, you gotta make it happen. You know, like, you know, I just barely bought all of this, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it was a big expense, but it's worth it, you know? And that's how you have to look at it, is that it's worth it. Worth the expense, worth the learning, you know what I mean? You also
Right.
gotta get on it.
You gotta spend money to make money too, like you said earlier.
Yeah, you gotta spend money to make money. You know, it's just like with all my hair cutting stuff too. When I first was cutting hair in high school, you know, like all my clippers were expensive, but like I made it all back in like a day,
Right.
you know, and so yeah, I mean, like that's the biggest thing you have to look at it. You got to look at it like, as long as I stick to it and get to where I'm gonna be, then these expenses ain't gonna matter. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so that's just the way I look at it. That's how I gotta look at it, so that way I don't feel like I'm bankrupt. Nah, it's all good though, man. I mean, it's fun. Like I like looking at this, and it's like we're doing this. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right.
it's dope. You know, and but yeah, I mean, it's wild. Music, rapping, singing. You know, JP actually never even was a singer really. Like you got into rapping first, and like you would like to sing, but he was never like, let me sing on a track.
All right.
And then just finally one day he was just when he made that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's on my mind.
It, like
Was that the first one?
nah. I think the first time you ever nah maybe. When did you write that?
That was the first song like on this new project, like
Right. Because you've had that song written for a while.
3 years. Yeah. So
That
my
might have been.
my senior year in high school. I think that's what it is, bro. Like my first singing song. The other ones were just freestyles to beats already, like that jungle one. I'm in my zone. That was
kind of yeah,
kinda
true.
singing.
Because I was kind of gonna say it might have been when you made your video, your graduation video, your Tin Toes.
Yeah.
Was that before or after?
That was before.
Because that's the first time. That's the first time you posted anything.
That's the
Like,
only thing
yeah.
anybody's seen
So, like,
from me.
After JP posted that 10 toes down challenge, like he was super nervous. I remember he was like, I don't know, bro. And then he was, because he was always so shy to actually like want to post himself rapping or singing, you know, like, and he was the best out of all of us that were with him. Like, in my opinion, he was always like one of the ones that actually had, you know, the what's the word? Like, I guess the flow, but like, you know what I mean? Like
Potential.
Right, you know what I mean? Because everybody else, we would just say random things, like being like me. I can't freestyle at all. Like they'll always want me to jump in, and I'm just like, I don't know what to say, man. Like I can barely write shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's fun though, and like these guys, you know, they'll just say random things that are rhyming. But Javi was always the one that actually like was telling a story, even though he was freestyling. He was on a topic. You know what I mean? Everybody else, they would just, you know, fuck bitches, get money. You know what I mean? Like it was just they were saying stupid shit, and like, you know, JP was the first one that like I noticed would always have a topic, stick to that topic, and he would rap on it. You know what I mean? And so he was always the one that like in my opinion had like the best, you know, look. But he was the only one that was like
Shy. And
yeah,
shit.
like he wouldn't want to post it. You know, he wouldn't want to like put nothing out there, you know, officially. And then when he did that 10 toes, it just
Gave me a boost
Yeah,
in confidence.
we had to-
for sure.
once he got all the you know compliments that he got, then he was like,
I
You know,
can do this.
yeah. And sometimes that's all it takes. You know what I mean? Like, cause I was the same way. You know, I was always shy, but you know, like when I put something out there, you know, and I'd get the positive feedback, so that's what would push me to do more. You know, and even then, I look back at some of my old stuff and I'm like, I could have done better. You know what I mean? But like, if I would have never posted that in the first place, you know, you wouldn't get that confidence. You know, and so that's the biggest thing is like, you know, you're never gonna know till you try. So I mean, if you got something that you like to do it. You know, and you know the feedback is gonna tell you whether or not you know it's worth your time. I guess you could say, and not even that. Like it's like what Javi was saying earlier. Like if it's what you like to do and you like doing it, you know, then do it.
I used to always care what people think, and now I could care less. You know, I do what I do because I want to do it and I love to do it.
Right, cause and you're right. Like you know, Javi would always be the one not to not want to do it, and then like now, like he'll be in a random group, like just random people. He'll like I could introduce him to new people today, and then like he would instantly be willing to show them his music, you know, like not even knowing who they are. Right. And like before, it'd be like if he didn't know you like on that best friend level, he wasn't gonna show you nothing. You know what I mean? And that it just came with that shyness, but it's about coming out of that shell, you know, and just realizing that, you know, this is what I like to do, you know, so forget what other people think, you know, and yeah. But yeah, that's just kind of our input on things. What are we looking at? It's been about 30 minutes. Yeah, this is a good podcast. Good podcast. So yeah, I mean that's a like little, you know, nice little podcast of us on talking about our journey through the music and kind of where it came from and things like that. We're definitely gonna make more videos about our music stuff. Like, you know, I know people kind of want to know what inspires us, you know, things like that. You know, just where we come up with our lyrics and things like that. But that can be a whole nother video in itself or another podcast. But for now, that's just kind of you getting to know us and kind of where we come from as far as getting into music. And yeah, you got anything else to say, JP?
Just be prepared because we're coming.
Facts.
Promise.
All right, guys. So yeah, this is JP. I'll have his stuff linked below if you want to add him on anything and whatnot. So yeah, you'll see him in future videos. And for now, that's gonna be it. So you guys have a good one. Stay blessed. Stay positive. And we'll see you guys in the next one.